revolt. There is a revolting quagmire, pigsty, corruption from top to bottom. And we are, I think, forced to do what Lincoln said, is to get our government back. Take some action. You can't use arms now. He said, get arms and get your government back. They commit assassinations, murder, witnesses get killed, cover-ups, grand theft. And now the politician says you can't take arms against the government. Well, but you can get groups to protest and march, but they just filmed that to see who they want on their list. They don't pay attention to that. There used to be a shadow government, but since Eisenhower, they now openly say this is who we are and this is what we do, and what can you do about it? They even insult you and say, yeah, we're committing genocide. What can you do about it? We want you to argue and fight. You know, if you go out into the public, you know, you go out to the street, they hit you. And then they say, yeah, argue with us, so that they can say you're an argumentative and no good. And they want you to fight, a gutter fighter, like they are gutter type. So President Nixon, he's a good Christian man and a good Christian family. You know, he went with them, and finally he pinpointed what Hoovers was, and therefore what Hoovers are. And this is coming to you by Preacher Doc. And yeah, I have to enforce to say, you know, the fire and brimstone oratory from the bloody pulpit. Well, that's a term. I don't have room or the money for a pulpit or even a lectern. I speak from my executive chair. And from we have an illegal president. The deals they made to get him so they have control, you see, of an illegal president is corruption. We're corrupt from the top on down. On the international stage, the U.S. is constantly getting lower and lower and lower as trustworthy and type of people in the government that others don't really respect. And the truth is that when I was in the street, this about 45-year-old man, a little heavy set, and he was like in charge. They would go through things, and that's what I saw, and they were teaching me, and that is, they would talk over and criticize anybody, and most of the time it was those above them, because that's the way they were, who were the orders. They were kind of like they always wanted like they were in charge, and this fellow would say, well, today so-and-so, and his ass is the blackest, and then they would laugh. Well, from the top on down, other countries are realizing whose ass is the blackest. That's what the true fact is. They give less and less respect. because they more and more come out about genocide against my father's family, and I and my family, and they're doing it right now, and they say, what can you do about it? We're gonna run you until you die and cover it up. They control the press and the media. And what about the laws of God and man? What about the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, civil rights? They got the guns and assassinations and murders and cover-ups, and that's... So we have to revolt against that they are revolting against the laws of God and man and the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the civil rights. And what did Nixon, he didn't decree, but what did Nixon call? What did Nixon call Hoover and those of his clique? And what are they? They are following faggot CSs. I repeat it with emphasis. Hoovers are following faggot CSs. Now, what about what I really want to do? And that is upward and forward. Upward and forward. There is not really publicized and organized, but there is a august body of intellectuals on this planet that they are really good. They take and have the right to have pride in their profession and what they achieve. And I mentioned those in the past and now that are worthy to be mentioned in such an august body. Well, who can I mention today? Well, there's Mahatma Gandhi. He achieved, I have him second in the past century, First John Paul II. Mahatma Gandhi, he achieved. Now here's a little old preacher, man, without arms. He took and for decades, like yours truly, put up with colonialism and imperialism. And he eventually was able to obtain freedom and justice done for his people. Now, I want to say that if in the next election a man like me doesn't get a chance, or a man like me doesn't get a chance, they have the regular where everybody says there's no difference between the two. You just vote for you hope is the lesser of the two evils. And I think there's about 75% of the American people don't trust our government. It is corrupted from the top on down. And they decide to do things. This is the way Hoover operated, and that's the way they do it. They hit them with various gyrations and frame-ups and situations, and then write what they want to write about them. So through the years, I went from a super patriot to now where I have to, from the bloody pulpit, say the truth, that they have taken they have experimented my brother to death. They experimented us, I and my family, and that when they had the genocide programs against I and my family and others. So you figure like they are doing, if he has this ability and achieve what he achieved, and we can control him by Hooverism, we can control anybody, anywhere in the world. And thus they spend millions of dollars. And I have said, look, I don't care what you do. I'm not interested. They say, well, by you doing something, they get where you got to either walk to your left or to your right. And whichever way you go, they'll say that he did that because this is the way he is and this is what he thinks. See, and they'll lie and write what they want to. What's it has to do with this, with the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and civil rights, you see. And so those following faggot CSs are have been running around uncontrolled. The ones at the top say, yeah, you do that, and they're such clean, nice fellas. Well, other on the world stage, other countries, they know what's going on. And say, well, it's up to the American people to vote for who they want to. Well, what we have to do is to get the ones who don't vote. How can we get our government back? If we can't do like Lincoln said, to take up arms and take it back from those who used arms for assassinations and murders and killing witnesses and cover-ups and grant that. No, you have to raise our voice. We have to then use the ballot box. If we can get the 50% who don't vote to vote for a man like me, vote for me, or a man like me, I can clean this government up and get our government back, and for the people, yeah. When I say the people, I say the American people, of course. So it's my right to raise my voice and my duty, I think. And it's your right and your duty to also let us get our government back. Now, we won't be able to do like Mahatma Gandhi in the U.S. because they use guns and all kinds of money. They either just appropriate the money or they get the money. They've got stolen billions from me, really. The Xerox photoelectric copiers, my original work, worth billions. And then there's identification of electromagnetic radiation. My original work, way back in 1957. So you see, the decades I have been hit by Hooverism and survived. Last December, they tried where I survived a couple, maybe I wouldn't, and come out in a wheelchair. But now I'm able to just struggle really along. I'm not in a wheelchair, but I'm injured, and I don't complain about anything except the crimes against my family and I. It's unconstitutional. We have to get justice. I and you have to get justice, honors, and compensation. And I say, the U.S. is lost internationally. We personally, if we band together and get 50% of the vote, we can get our government back. But the following faggot CSs And with that I say, to those who are, God bless. You know, those who are honest and want their government back, that also have, there more and more coming out about crimes against them. They call whistleblowers, like Colleen Rowley and others. You look it up on the internet and you'll find uh, what I say are true facts. I say, of course, thank you, and God bless us. We will get our government back by banding together at the ballot box for I, or man like me, that can really do what I should be for the people and the American people. Thank you and God bless.